Welcome back. Well, it's been a rough day for the market, of course. Now we are very close to the last support that the market had, or last level from where it bounced back. Mehrbun Irani, MD and CEO of Genie Gems Consultants, is with us now. Mehrbun, hi, good afternoon. We really have to start with, your thoughts on the auto pack, in particular stocks like Eicher Motors. What's gone wrong, you think?
I think this entire auto sector, especially it all started with companies which were having their businesses, a large part of the businesses in the globally, I think took a hit because it was coming, I think, and we were discussing Tata Motors and Motherson Sumi quite regularly. Over the last 3 quarters, I've been stating that I see global auto sales coming down, which is bound to have its impact on companies which also have large part of this businesses coming from outside India. And over the last 2-3 months, clearly auto sales are showing signs of coming down. Will they pick up? I personally feel they will. Now the question is, has the market discounted this complete slowdown which has happened? Market took its own time to realize it. Market started thinking that, oh, Diwali sales were not good, things will pick up. And when that's not happened, you are seeing suddenly a sharp fall coming in most auto stocks. Is there an opportunity? I personally believe there could be an opportunity in at least a couple of names which I like. I think a Maruti at a price maybe around 6,800 or 7,000 or anything below 7,000, I think should attract interest and should attract buying. And I think Ashok Leyland at the present level of 97, 98, because let's not forget, last December quarter the base was very high. I think 97, 98 with a possible downside of 5 to 7% more. I think augurs well from an investment angle.
Mehrbun, I was going through some of the ideas that you have for 2019, and it's interesting. Are you taking a positive call on PSU banks? You think this rally that we've seen from the lows, it'll extend well into this year? And if that is the case, then what is your preference, the pecking order?
Well, I would put it this way, that after being very vocal, very negative on PSU banks for many years, I think I'm sticking my neck out to say that possibly 2018 lows could be the multi-year lows for most of the PSU banking stocks. I feel that everything, it's a deadly combination right now if you look at it. The balance sheet improvement has happened. The credit growth has picked up. I think it's around 11-12% right now against a single digit same time last year. Point number 3 is inflation being benign. The bond yields coming down, treasury income picking up. And on the other side, major consolidation happening, attracting the attention of all the authorities right now. And I think if you look at all these factors put together, apart from that, quite a few NPAs hopefully coming back into the balance sheets of companies. So if you put all these things together, I think you have a deadly cocktail as far as PSU banks goes, which I think augurs well ultimately for the shareholders. Is it a time to buy into them? Certainly yes. The point is, what do I buy? I think somebody who doesn't like high beta plays, I think can go and buy into a State Bank of India, which I think at 285, 290 offers great value. If somebody likes higher beta, I think go in with something like a Punjab National Bank. As far as Bank of Baroda, what has happened ultimately, the ratio which was announced, I think augurs well for Bank of Baroda also. But at the end of it all, one needs to understand when you buy into PSU banking space, the biggest positive, apart from what I mentioned, is go and ask 20 HNI investors, do you own PSU banking stocks? The answer would be a clear-cut no. So they are highly under-owned. So you may have a sharp rally coming in the near future, but at the end of it all, when you are buying it, you need to understand the fact that you are buying the stocks for the longer term. But I do feel that at least a 5% weightage of your portfolio should be in at least 1 or 2 PSU banking stocks.
Okay, all right, we have hit the closing bell, and Anuj, I mean, it's a down day, absolutely, and actually ending at the lows as well, so there's been no pickup whatsoever.
Ending at the lows, absolute low point, but on Monday we ended at the highest point as well, right?
Yeah.
Now we're two back-to-back really bad days for the market. Let's see how things move now. We've now priced in a lot of damage for global markets overnight, and what will be interesting is tomorrow morning what kind of cues we wake up to. And we are very close to an important support mark. Let's just remind ourselves about that. The mid-cap market was quite okay today, 1:2 advanced decline. I think you take that on a day like today. The problem for the market is, of course, autos, and that's continuing to disappoint. Eicher was down another 4%. In fact, it's been 12% fall for Eicher Motors this week, and it's just getting worse. HPCL down 3.5%, ONGC, IOC down. Talking about autos, Mahindra & Mahindra, another day running down 3%, and For Mahindra now, it's 11% fall for the week. Tata Steel, Hindalco, HDFC. HDFC is one big problem point for last 2 or 3 days. There's clearly been some sense of FIL selling, and of course you'll perhaps have that in names like HDFC, Axis Bank, Reliance, Maruti, some of these names. On the way up, Bharti Infratel was interesting. Towards the end, that made a bit of a move. 3% higher on that stock. Not much apart from that, really. I mean, struggling to see any other gaining stocks for a week.
Well, on the mid-cap screen, Anuj, there is quite a bit of weakness. A lot of the PSU banks have actually come off today. So the likes of UCO Bank, for instance, Bank of Maharashtra, United Bank of India, a lot of these stocks that were excited with the capital coming in. Today was a day of profit-taking. Let's pull up the trio of BOB, Vijaya and Dena as well. On expected lines, weakness on Vijaya and Dena. And on BOB, the market's verdict is quite optimistic after this merger. Therefore, that stock managed to hold out in positive territory. Let's move on then. Gen Irrigation down 4%. We've seen Page Industries fall about 3.5–4% as well. There has been continued weakness on Ashok Leyland. Anuj was just talking about autos. That continues to be a hated part of the market right now. Leyland is down another 2% below the 100 mark. Other big stocks include something like an India Cement that lost ground today. A couple of the mid-cap tech names like First Source, Hexaware, Mindtree and KPIT Tech. A lot of these stocks were under pressure throughout the course of the trading action. So this is how the losers list is looking like. On the gaining side, you can look out for sugar stocks. Let's see if this uptrend lasts or not. Balrampur, Dhampur, even Praj today, some excitement. So about 3 to 4% up on these names. Escorts was the one auto stock that has bucked the weak trend. 2% up on Escorts. But that's about it. I can't really cite too many other winners. Maybe an Info Edge that was a little excited. But otherwise, more losers than, of course, winners in the mid-cap market as well, Anuj.
Oh, yes, that clearly is the case. Let's take just some final thoughts from our experts then. Mitesh, your thoughts on the day and what would be the levels to watch tomorrow for you? Mitesh?
A couple of things, Anuj. One, the low was very near to the closing and the high was very near to the opening. So very clearly throughout the day they were selling and pressure was there and a lot of stocks have broken down. But, as long as we are below 10,725 and that's only about 60 points away, I think I would maintain a negative bias. We have had 2 days of big falls, so maybe a 40–50 point kind of fall can happen tomorrow morning. If that happens, I would be very comfortable taking a fresh short. We already have some put options positions in the Nifty. But shorting in the futures can be done if you're closer to 10,725. And I think a retest of 10,550 could happen. If that breaks, then we'll look at a bigger decline. But for the timing, it looks like that we will possibly retest those 10,550, 530 zones.
Okay, fair enough. Ashwini, what would your advice be? We've ended at the lows of the day. Now tomorrow morning?
See, something very useful to see. If you see the daily chart of the Nifty, it made 3 equal peaks and now has dropped off. Similarly, Bank Nifty, it made 3 higher peaks at the end and then has started to drop off. Often this number 3 is very critical, and once you have 3 peaks and the market refuses to go up, that generally is a bigger correction than intermediate correction in those 3 peaks. So it is quite likely that we may not hold supports, but we'll take it as it comes. The only thing is that we are reaching closer to supports with the market falling like a stone. So my sense would be that maybe the highs have been made for the moment. I don't think January you will go beyond 11,000, so keep selling the rallies.
Okay, all right. Meraboon, finally, any idea, any stock tip or advice that you can leave us with as we kickstart 2019?
Honestly, I think there are quite a few ideas here and there, but at the end of it all, it is a clear indication the way the markets are moving, and I think Anuj summarizes it well virtually every night when I see him on the television screen. I think the fact is that the market clearly shows signs of exhaustion on the higher side. Now let us look at a simple example like Piramal Enterprise. Everybody wanted to buy 2,800, 2,900, 3,000. Now the stock moves up 150 rupees and cannot even sustain a 50 rupees move in a day, and the stock starts coming down. Clearly shows that the market somewhere wants to come down again. And I think the biggest concern for me, according to me, is the global growth, which somewhere along the line the market will extrapolate and talk of a recession coming globally, especially in the US. And that is where I think a market bottom is going to happen. So I think between now and June, anytime we will have a sharp fall coming, and that fall, according to me, could turn out to be a golden opportunity for the next wave of the bull market to start.
Okay, all right. Meraboon, Ashwini and Mitesh, we'll wrap it up on that note. Thank you very much for being with us through the market close today. Break right now. On the other side, banks have written to the new RBI governor over various concerns. More on that exclusive story as soon as we get back.